Hello, hello, and welcome into the Rally Cry halftime show. I'm here back with Kangas and Smacks after a Game 1 victory for Supernova. Before we get into the fun that I have in store for both of you, I just want to say how smart I am, how great analysis I am.
All right.
Just flexing a bit over here.
Get on your podium. It's okay. You deserve it.
Praise me more. Steve, I'm asking you to praise me.
No. The series isn't over. I'm giving you props for predicting Supernova, but that's only one game.
You got a fair point. It is a best of 5. It is a best of 5. But let's talk about that first game before we get into this halftime show. Because there was a big gap of nothing, and then there's a huge block of everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely fair to say. There were like 15 minutes there where we were kind of waiting for the explosion to happen. Because like we were saying in that game, the pressure is on for these players. They know that this is do or die in NACL if they want to make it in to the Challengers League for the summer. And I think we saw a bit of that. Maybe some some hesitancy on going for any early game plays. But I mean, once the plays started, they did not stop for the rest of that game. And I think it's a good point to mention that while there were a lot of flashy things going on, ONAT for Supernova did quietly end with like a 10-0 scoreline there. Very, very strong performance on that Syndra.
Incredible stuff from the player that we were thinking, okay, he plays the more aggressive style, things like the Aries that are trying to play more skirmish. And Robbie Bob played exactly the style that I expect from Robbie Bob, more facilitating, more setting up the team. But the fact that ONAT was able to just kind of quietly sneak by with that stat line, like all these crazy things were happening, watching the engages, but Syndra's just outputting DPS in all of those. Also, I think we saw Kisno get much more confident as the game went on. Early on, Synax, we identified that one awkward kind of moment where you see Dardogs invaded, you're like, wait, do I need to cover topside to make sure they don't dive? You don't have vision. There were 2 wards available for Kisno at that time. Hadn't dropped one to spot if Dardoch was going to come. So like little moments like that where we see the experience differential in these junglers. But as the game went on, Kisno really felt comfortable and kind of carried towards the end there.
And we got a whole best of 5 ahead of us, but we have the Rally Cry halftime show. I have some fun for both of you. Are you ready for the quiz show with Magical?
No, I'm actually terrible at quiz shows, and also it's a magical quiz show, so I know that I'm going to be extra, disadvantaged here.
I may or may not have made this easier. Just scaled it back a bit.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've been a little difficult sometimes, Just as a caster, as a person, I'm a bit difficult,
Admitting's the first step.
Exactly. So let's
Magical,
get into this
I think you're lovely. You're not difficult, okay?
Don't
sell yourself short.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
All right, let's get into question number 1 for the game. So, easy. How many players of the 10 in our games today played in Proving Grounds at some point? Qualifiers don't count.
Ooh. Okay.
And this is just a first come, first serve kind of thing.
Do we have to buzz in or anything?
I don't care.
Oh, let's see.
I'm gonna
this is just Proving Grounds?
Just
like
Proving
just
Grounds.
playoffs.
Just Proving Grounds and not Qualifier.
For anybody who's watching right now, Proving Grounds was basically what this tournament is now. It was called Proving Grounds for the last 2 years in spring and summer split.
What playoffs is now?
Now it's playoffs. It's basically the same format. Like the bracket, the format's the same. It just was called Proving Grounds back then. I'm gonna go Buzz.
Buzz.
I'm not confident in this, but I think it's 5.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be my answer. I'm gonna go 6 then, just to be different.
You can answer the same. I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think 5 is right then, so I'll go with 5. I think that's correct.
5. Well, the answer is indeed 5. You're both right.
Nice.
It's Alorum, Robbie Bob, Daption, Dragoon, and Azog. All of them.
That's the list I made.
I am very happy I got it from the wrong list, but I still got 5. So.
Hey. A point's a point. I didn't ask you to name them. I just asked you to say how many
Dardoch hasn't played?
No,
he was coaching the whole time.
Yep. He coached for IMT, but he didn't play.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
Exactly. All right. So let's get into question number 2. Who did Daption play with during his time on Wildcard?
Arrow. Buzz.
What,
Arrow.
Was it Arrow?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say a single thing until Steve gives me an answer.
Was
or he
this
gives
2021?
Not gonna tell you.
Wild card summer.
Not gonna tell you.
Do you want the whole roster or just the bot lane?
Just the bot lane.
Okay, Arrow.
I don't have an answer. I'll just go with what Smack says. Arrow.
All right, I'm not gonna give you the point, Steve. That's a non-answer. You're cheating.
That's what.
No, because at least she had an idea and she was already leaning towards 5. So no.
I'll tell you the
don't get
rest of the
point.
roster if you want.
Go for it.
It was
Give me.
it was Dokla, Winnie, Bradley, Arrow, and Daption.
Yes,
back
it
when
was,
Bradley was a
indeed.
mid laner.
Dokla
And
was
then
on that roster?
Dokla,
Yes.
Wow.
Dokla got brought up after
Yes.
they needed him for Team Liquid because they went to Worlds with Jenkins. So
That's
yeah.
exactly what it was. That is exactly
Yeah.
what it was. So 2 points over to Smacks. So 2-1 lead so far. Now let's get into question number 3. What school won CLOL last year, and which players played for the winning team?
I got it. Ding, 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 ding.
Buzz.
UST.
Go.
It was Robbie Bob and Trickies. Boom.
Okay.
I said that on the cast. That's
Yeah,
cheating.
but I said it first here, so
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I hit the wrong soundboard at first, but I got there.
Summer.
I mean,
I
that's
can't
the
give you
correct
point on this
answer.
one. Yeah, I can't
What?
give you the point on this one.
That's correct.
It is correct, but you didn't say you
not my
didn't
fault.
even try. You didn't
You know-
even
you know-
attempt to buzz in.
You know what?
I did. I didn't want to interrupt him.
I
Yeah,
will
you can
say.
interrupt them all you want. That's the point of this game.
Okay.
I'm not about politeness
All right.
and manners here.
I didn't know
I
the
will
rules.
share my point. I will share my point because I did get the information from Smacks in the last game.
I mean, it is true.
If
She
you
did
allow
say
us
it.
to share points from the last one, so then we're 2 and 3.
No, not going to.
No,
It's-
okay.
You'd be
tried.
3
I
and 3.
appreciate the
It's 2
effort,
and 2.
Steve.
It's 2
Oh,
and 2.
true. We would be 3 and 3.
Yeah, but you're 2 and 2. All right. So let's get into question number 4. Supernova might have lost 3 series during the qualifiers to get to promotion, but it was actually only 2 teams. What 2 teams were they?
Ooh, okay. So they lost 3 series during the qualifiers.
Not games, series.
Okay.
Let me
okay.
just open up a quick tab over here.
That's cheating.
No, I'm
That's
not
cheating.
looking. It's nothing. No, it's nothing. Don't
yes,
worry about
that's
it.
cheating.
That's cheating,
No.
Steve.
Oh, I can tell you who they
I-
beat every time.
I know, but that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
Oh, who did they lose to?
Why is Supernova's Leaguepedia page so long? Okay.
It's funny because
I've
it's actually
got-
not as easy to find as you think.
Okay, I know one of them. I'm trying to remember the other one, but I'm just gonna
I got
buzz
it.
in because I know
got it.
one of them.
All right,
One of them is
buzz in.
Maryville,
Okay.
and the other one I'm gonna say is Team Tony Top, or a previous name of Team Tony Top.
Okay. Steve, what do you got? Do you have anything?
I think that's true. Although it says latest results is RR. I don't know what that means for the other team.
Round robin. That's
Round
why.
robin.
That's why I made sure to pick something that wasn't that easy to look up.
Oh no! How am I supposed to
counted you.
find this
Counted
information?
you already. Ha ha ha.
All right.
should have
you know
had
what?
my
In a
Google
last
Drive
ditch
link.
effort. Wait, no. If I just say
Yes,
the same
yes.
thing, then we tie. So Maryville.
Maryville and who else?
And it is Team Tony Top. Yeah.
Okay. So you
I
were
did- not that I was looking at anything.
right on
information.
one of them. Team Fish
Oh.
Taco was the other one. And it
Not
was Team
Maryville?
Tony, not Maryville. They only lost a single game. They only played them one time.
Man, this is my chance to pull ahead. I should have
was.
gone for it.
You should have. And you
I
both
should've
should have
known
known
that
this.
one.
You both should have known this. This was a whole thing
I
that we
definitely
talked
should've
about
known.
before. No, not everyone else out there knows, but we talked about this behind the scenes that these 2 teams actually played and that Supernova had actually lost to Team Fish
Yeah.
Taco.
Magical's
So-
outing all of us.
Yes, I am.
For the whole stream
Yes, I
right
am.
now. Huh.
So, nil blah for either of you. Let's get into question number 5.
Oh, there's another.
This is the last one. This
I
is the
thought that
last
was the
one.
last one. Okay.
No, that was 4. It's 5. Odd number. All right. Alorum has played a lot of champions that has a lot of champions he is famous for, but he has the original one trick that he climbed to at the beginning. And, but Summer, I'm actually going to change it up here. I'm going to count down from 5, and you're both going to answer at the same
Okay.
time. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Urgot.
Kong.
And the winner is...
We had different ones.
Ding, ding, ding!
Oh, it was
Wukong! It was Wukong!
Oh,
In
I was
fact-
like, I thought it was Urgot or Yorick, and I didn't remember which one.
There's a
No,
lot.
it's
Like I said,
Wukong.
Alorum's known for a lot of different champions. Think about the on-hit Nico, Yorick, Urgot, a lot of these picks, but it was the Wukong that was
Wow.
the infamous number one trick. And now with that, we are ready for game number 2 draft. So you can also mention anytime Wukong has even hovered that is a call out to Alorum. And we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Magical. Well, I'm learning on the broadcast as well. See, this is why I hate quiz shows, because it just, I choke up. You know, the stress gets to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, I should have got that Supernova qualifier question right. I made the Google Drive for like all the results and everything. I should have known that, but I forgot. I mean, honestly, it's a safe assumption to say that everyone lost to Maryville at least once in the qualifiers. They did win all of it.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Getting into game 2, though, Supernova back on the red side here. So that does mean that Team Fish Taco picked blue and don't really care as much about the top side counterpick this time around. Interesting.
I mean, it did not work out for them in that last game. Alorum was not able to get a lot done in the 1v1, and I'm even go as far as to say that was not because of jungle intervention. We actually saw Dardoch head up there more than Kisno head up there, and still the Pantheon was not able to get much done in that game. So honestly, I think that this might be what Team Fish Taco need. Try and go for more of just the power picks early on. It will not be the Gragas, Wukong, or Varus. Wukong is banned away, so sorry, Alorum. But let's see what they opt for their first priority.
Xayah taken off the board as well. Worth mentioning is Azog did have quite a nice performance on that champion in the previous game, but Robbie Bob going back to old reliable in the mid lane. Blind pick, first pick here for Team Fish Taco, making sure this time that they do have some more scaling on this roster, going over to the Victor here.
And we could see almost a swap of roles. Cassandra is scaling AP damage in the mid lane. Can set up ganks, but usually you're looking for the scaling instead, hitting around the 2-3 items. And then Annie is now grabbed by Onat. So yeah, the mid laner's kind of swapping what the team needs from them here. And Kisno also locks in a very early Viego. So we're getting a carry for the jungler of Supernova now.
Yeah, we may just be getting the exact mid-jungle duo that Supernova played against now on their roster. Of course, it's worth mentioning that Annie can be flexed to the support position.
True.
It's one of the reasons why she is nice to pick early in the draft. But yeah, the expectation is that it's going in the mid lane. With the junglers taken off the board, the Viego's gone, the Wukong is gone as well. Maybe seeing something funky out of Dardoch. We know he has a very deep champion pool, but I mean, there could also just be Vi. That'd be the boring one, but it would make the most sense.
They went through so many more exciting picks just to land on the Vi. But I mean, this is it's pretty standard for Dardoch. He has played this so far in this tournament, and it sets up fantastically a Victor. Vi can lock somebody down for quite a while in the Chaos Storm and the lasers, and also even the Aphelios as well. So we got 2 primary carries. We got strong engage, something lacking from Team Fish Taco in game number 1. Already it feels like they're identifying what did not work in that game.
Locking in the top laner right away for Dragoon. Looks like neither team really cares too much whether or not Dragoon has the counter pick available. Interesting that we're probably going to have the entire top side already locked in here for Supernova. Still the bottom lane up in the air. But for Azog, I mean, he does have a few scaling options that are still there. The Jinx is pretty good. The Zeri, although would be into Vi, is still a possibility for him. And there is still, of course, things like the Lucian Nami that are available. So saving the duo of Supernova until later, and actually not even backing up this Olaf with a double ban for top lane either, which is something that you usually see to mask that blind pick. Thresh taken off the boards just to make sure that Daption doesn't have that extra power that Aphelios likes.
I was going to expect a top lane ban after the Thresh, because if you see the opportunity to take Thresh away from the Aphelios, because they opted for the Vi instead of the Thresh right away, might as well do it. Then take away Alorum's Trundle. He had played this as well throughout the tournament. So I'm not too surprised by this, but now comes down to what Team Fish Taco want to ban for the last one. You don't really need to ban the Nami. You already banned the Lucian. Ban the Zeri. Okay, bot lane pool has been pinched pretty heavily here.
Ooh, that should be really interesting, and it is going to get locked in. This was a champion played more by Chookies than Azog in the entire qualifiers, as it was more of a support champion beforehand, but not so much anymore after the most recent round of nerfs. She did have quite a few of them as well, and yeah, expecting that one to be in the 80 carry position, especially after so many champions were taken off the board by Team Fish Taco against Azog, who again did have a pretty stellar performance getting that first blood onto Red in a solo kill.
Yeah, that was a 1v1. They were able to pull that one off. We're identifying again, you know, we did not have a lot of engagement last time. Team Fish Taco go for Sion for Alorum as the answer to the Olaf pick. that with the Vi. And if they go for a Rakan, this is just engage on engage on engage here with a lot of damage to follow it up. So this would be a much more team fight focused draft here as opposed to last time around where it felt like more about splitting the map. So what does Supernova want to answer with now?
There's trying to select between Renata and Soraka,
Renata.
it seems like right now. I like Renata a lot here too.
Yeah.
It's into a lot of engage, as you said, the Scion, Vi, Rakan. This is where Renata Glass can thrive. And for Team Fish Taco now, I mean, the most valuable stat in the entire game is tenacity, to make sure that you don't get stunned up by the Annie and the Ashe for too long and not berserked by Chookies as well, because, I mean, those teamfight powerhouse ultimates are going to be deadly against Team Fish Taco this game.
And the fact that Renata Glass almost single-handedly can, stop an entire engage from all these people trying to dive onto the carries, and then you have Olaf Viego just charging Robbie Bob and Red here. I think Team Fish Taco, despite having many options for how they want to engage fights, do need to be very careful about going too far in, getting too aggressive with it, because if you leave your carries, these are not two carries that can necessarily follow up on the engage super easily. They have to walk forward to do that. Not a lot of defensive tools, so then they're in danger of all these bruisers hitting them. I kind of like what Supernova put together here.
Me too. The pick threats are still there, just like the last game. This time, even more powerful, I would say, with the Ashe as well. And as you can see, Red did go for the cleanse here, so does know the threat is there. And Supernova already up a game in this series. If we're liking this draft, then, I mean, Team Fish Taco is going to have to be pretty scared for the rest of this series.
Yeah, it could potentially turn into a 2-0 in lead right now for Supernova. Reminder that you can use your hashtags NACL on Twitter to join in on the conversation. Let us know who you're rooting for. Cheer on the players. Make sure to go follow all the players as well. This is Tier 3 League of Legends. This is development. This is the future of North American competition. And I think that all these players are stepping up in the moment where they need to most, specifically Supernova. Very impressed with how they played that game number 1. But as we start to focus on game number 2 here, same thing. Where are we expecting some of the early action to happen if we had to kind of paint a roadmap?
Well, Dardoch and Kisno are again on champions that have a pretty solid level 3 engage spike, where they do have these dash stuns that they can use to make sure that some sort of engage happens in whatever lane they choose to go for. And I'm hoping that they've shaken off the early game jitters of game 1, where we didn't really get much going on from these junglers in the first 12 minutes, hoping that we get some more action early and it's not just very objective focused. As fun as those late game fights were, I don't want to see Vi and Viego wait until level 6 to get anything done.
Wow, usually I thought that was a play-by-play's job to complain about a slow game, but I'm happy that you're on my side here, Smacks.
Of course.
Yeah. Early on, Dragoon doing typical Olaf things, has played 2 carries in a row now, and is a player that's very fun to watch, has a unique champ pool as well. I'm happy that we're starting to see that come out already in this series, because I'm also looking at that Olaf as if they get ahead big. Now, aggressive push here from Azog and Chookies, walking past the wave, still level 1. Utilizing that power to push back Red.
Yeah, I love this from Chookies, who is utilizing the Renata Glass passive to its fullest effect. Very, very strong auto attacks out of that champion if you are both focus firing the same target. And by both, I mean the bottom lane duos. Robbie Bob's now getting stunned up.
That should be a flash out of the Victor here. And that doesn't have to stun, actually, so Robbie Bob might be good. Oh, flash from Onat, first blood! Locked in for the mid laner of Supernova.
Did you see how well timed that shield was from Onat as well? The extra burst of damage that applies onto Robbie Bob as the laser connects there. Onat doing super, super well in this game, as he did in the last one too. Finding first blood onto Robbie Bob. There's that action that we wanted to see. There's that early game jungle power that we wanted to see out of this Viego here.
And in a matchup where, when I saw Robbie Bob initially take the Airy and not the first strike, I thought, oh, you're trying to like kind of poke out the Annie then most likely, because typically, unless I just have the wrong meta read, I've been seeing more first strike. You're trying to go for that scale and just get that gold income every laser that you shoot out there, but still going down as to teleport back in the lane and is not feeling great about the current game state.
Yeah, definitely not. He is the scaling champion in this game, though. I said it in the draft, the old reliable for Robbie Bob. This is the champion that he played most in the CLL Championship of 2022 on University of St. Thomas, and is the champion that he looked the best on, funny enough, as he kept winning on it, as they did win the entire thing, mostly off the back of this champion. And some pretty nice performances from Shogo. I don't want to sell the other carry of UST short here. It's a great performance on all fronts, but I was especially astounded by the consistency and level of play out of Robbie Bob in that tournament, and we've seen that from him on this roster as well as Evil Geniuses when he was subbing in for that team as well. The late game power is really, really strong from him, and he will have to lean on that in this game as he's been put pretty far behind.
Bit of a magnet right now as Kisno looked for another gank in the mid lane. Won't find it though, as also Robbie finds himself with a decent CS lead. Meanwhile, bot lane still trading aggressive. Took a turret plate earlier while we were talking about the mid lane trade, so they're also getting themselves a pretty comfortable lead down here. Early game from Supernova, much more active than it was in game number 1, and it is working out for them. Kisno could even look for a dive here. Dardock's on the other side of the map.
Oh, I actually don't think Red was in range of that cannon minion with the dematerializer. That's unfortunate, but I'm gonna have to dodge this gank.
Double knockup from Daption, good start. Can Kisno get past? Flash from Azog, just going all in onto Red. Take down the AD carry. Double back for the support. We have Robbie Bob roaming top lane to get onto Dragoon, and with Dardock here, surely this is a kill. That's Flash out of Dragoon. Double kill off screen for Kisno. It is traded as Dardock will get one, but he goes down to the turret. So extended trade. That is a 3-for-1 in favor of Supernova.
Holy moly, and then in the bottom lane, they have both kills after the fact. We can see that turret was doing a lot of work for Supernova, but can't quite defend enough to where Team Fish Taco's bottom lane can return fire. And I mean, Dragoon, the flash and the hesitancy, the extra movement, making sure that Dardock was kept on his toes the entire time. Let's look at this bottom lane one more time and just see just how annoying this Ashe champion really is, because this is not one that we see too often, but when we do see it, the extra slow and huge range that you get on the auto attacks from this champion are just way, way too much to combat in situations like this. And look how far away they can play underneath this turret, all of them surviving. And again, we can look at this top side as well. I'm still so taken aback at how well that dive worked out for Supernova and how not great it happened for Team Fish Taco either. I mean, 1-for-1 up there is definitely not what you want.
Yeah, Dardock was a little hesitant to throw out the Vault Breaker there. Waited a little long. Who knows what could have happened if you just shotgun that immediately. But either way, Supernova back onto the map, starting up the Dragon with a 1,500 gold lead. As we pass the 6.5-minute mark, they are accelerated, specifically the carry jungler. Dardock was able to pull off a couple of kind of gross things on Viego when he wasn't ahead. Let's see what Kisno can do on a Viego that is ahead. This is a carry champion. If you get resets in fights, you are a menace.
Let's talk about Kisno for a bit, because this is a player that's super, super new in the space. Like I said in the last game, this is his first really big team that he's played on. He was previously on CB Gaming, which is another tier 3 team in the qualifiers.
Troubles. Still only level 5, actually, as a really good roam timer from Alorm there.
Yeah. That roam timer is just way too good. I mean, you can see the Supernova did just want to push in that lane and give Onat the recall timer, but Lorem with the Sign Ultimate punishes that one quite nicely. We're going to have to talk about Kisno a little bit later, because I think Dardock is going to try to get some revenge in this bottom lane pretty soon.
Has level 6 on the Vibe. Vault Breaker charged, going in, flash available, flash in onto Azog, easy peasy. Set up beautifully. Can Azog trade one, actually? Had the handshake, but not going to go for it. Doesn't have enough damage to kill Daption, so nicely done from Dardock, getting a kill for the team.
Not buckling under the pressure of the jungle gap, which was potentially forming there just a little bit. Again, kind of shocking is Kisno's lack of experience is, you know, it cowers in comparison of Dardock's huge list of teams and huge list of accolades, as well as I think Chickies is going to be maybe a little bit of a bully now. I'm not going to do so, but let's go back to talking about Kisno, because he started off on CB Gaming and he hadn't really had much experience at all. But on CB Gaming, it's worth mentioning that he did play a lot of these carry champions and did so quite well.
Absorb another play though. He's still on the Herald. I mean, for a very young jungler in his career, you know, to nerves of steel, saying, all right, I got the team around me. We can actually go for this. That's the type of player that we're starting to realize Kisno is.
All right, this game is a lot faster than I thought it would be. So let's just talk more about the gameplay then. 3 plates in this bottom lane already without the Rift Herald at all. You have to imagine that that's where the Rift Herald is going to go pretty soon. As I think Kisno's setting up for yet another play. Well, the arrow didn't quite land.
No, it's a bait. There's no way they would expect the enemy jungler to be where the arrow pathed, because then you're going to hit your own jungler. So Robbie Bob
I think you're right.
Lulled into a sense of security. It was mostly a joke, but Robbie Bob does actually have to worry about a gank. Trades good damage back, doesn't blow flash.
That's unfortunate. Onat fell for the biggest Annie sin in the book, where your Q is still flying out that has the stun attached to it, and you W before the Q lands. So it uses the stun on W instead of Q. That's an Annie lesson that you gotta learn sometime, and it's really hard to time from time to time, because it's a pretty slow moving projectile.
Doesn't absorb the stack when you use the ability. It absorbs the stack when you land the ability.
Exactly. And Onat wasn't quite in range of the W stun, unfortunately. So gotta be careful with that one, all you Annie players out there, or aspiring Annie players. Annie players should probably know that already. Onat. I'm just joking. He's doing a great job this game.
Pretty simple champion. I haven't tried it out myself yet, but obviously it's working out here for the side of Supernova. But props to Team Fish Taco for making a relatively consistent comeback. They're shrinking that 1,500 gold lead that existed. Now it's down to 300. CS advantage in the top lane as an all-in comes down for Dragoon. Ghost is popped. Doesn't body block. Gunstop full onslaught. And now the Heralds drop bot lane. This is a full turret falling down.
All Azog's got to do is stay in the range. Yeah, it's not going to kill it quite yet. With the most recent season coming through, Herald doesn't guaranteed do 2k damage anymore. So, gonna have to put some extra work in at the end, as Team Fish Taco does bring their jungler down just to defend that first turret. Can't imagine it's gonna stay alive for much longer, though. Still 3 minutes available for that plate to be taken.
Dragoon still pushing, pressuring Alorm right there. But yeah, you're right. The bot lane turret, very, very low in its health, and one more gank could be the final nail in the coffin for it, as Dragon's also up in 45 seconds. So in general, there's a lot to happen for Supernova on the bot half of the map. Yeah. I do expect them to want to play around this half. Onat has a reset timer here with teleport available, as Kisno actually walks forward. I feel like maybe that was an opportunity. Dardoch with Robbie Bob there could have actually looked for something. They knew Onat wasn't nearby.
Is playing on some thin margins this top lane as well. I want to look in mid, though, because I think Robbie Bob he's got some company there, just trying to push in this lane and again give Supernova the extra breathing room to go for this Drake, which they seem to be prioritizing a lot in this series so far. Of course, 4 of them in a row, 5 if you count the Elder, and now trying to go for a soul win condition again in game 2.
And there's no way that Team Fish Taco even look to contest this right now. Instead, they might just go for a dive top lane. Dardoch jumps in onto Dragoon. Should have the damage by his lonesome. And picks up a kill in trade for the Dragon. But that's the arrow lands. Onat has the stun follow-up. Robbie Bob in trouble. Flash is available. Oh, but it's an answer from Daption. The support from Team Fish Taco actually makes it in there first. So Onat is in full retreat mode. Will make it out, but that was close.
Very, very close as Onat finds his escape. Robbie didn't actually flash there, so he's pretty safe in this lane as well, but Supernova did get the prize that they were looking for. Actually, both of them, as they did get the Drake and first turret in that bottom lane. Azog now freed up to roam around the map. I don't know if we're going to get a look at the top lane play, but I do want to mention that Dragoon's ultimate was literally 1 second away from being available in that play, so that's pretty unfortunate. But he's going to be okay. He does now have his Ravenous Hydra, and I think that will make this top lane 1v1 at least a lot more favorable for the Olaf.
Can push the waves much faster as well. Who's so far he's been kind of struggling at that. Alorm has actually managed to get a 20 CS lead, just under right now, but still about 3 waves lead over Dragoon so far. Add the counter pick, but still, when you lock in the Olaf, a lot of the expectation is that even despite that, you will still be able to push in. And Alorm is the most gold in the game right now. I guess that's what 4 plays will do for you.
Zion is just one of those champions that can kill the minions to your heart's delight and 4 turret plates up there without any Rift Herald is going to do that for you. No junglers mooching off of that plate gold like Azog has to deal with, Azog. And yeah, that's where the gold difference does come from, even though that first turret does come through. But Supernova, as a team, is keeping pace quite nicely, and they've actually moved Azog into this mid lane just to make sure that they have some more pressure across the map, and maybe they can go for some more fun arrows onto Onat, perhaps.
Max, I want to ask you a question, as it looks like there's not a lot happening on the Rift right now. We just saw a Fed Viego give red buff to Ashe. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like that. Ashe
you like that?
Auto attacks, yes. Ashe auto attacks quite frequently, fun fact. So,
well, yeah,
at least
I mean,
80
she
carry
also
Ashe.
has a slow on her auto attacks. And those
She
are moments where I
does.
wonder if it's better for the jungler to play a little greedy.
No. You want to give that to Ashe. The extra burn is really nice. Also, I'm
Trying to rep all the
pretty
jungle
sure-
players out there. Like, no, you deserve that. You take that red buff.
I'm
Oh, you don't take the blue buff,
Wait,
though.
hold on.
This is actually pretty dangerous for your
not
Kisno.
yours.
As Alorem jumps into the fight, locks down Kisno, who will fall down.
on.
Oh, actually gets
Really?
resets! Kisno alive! As Viego Chookies saving the play. Now Azog with that red buff autoing onto Alorem. Doesn't have a lot of damage. Red over the wall, untouched so far. Bursts damage onto all members of Supernova.
Oh, you could see it in Red's eyes that he really wanted to flash over and get that last auto attack onto Azog, but showed some restraint there, showed that it's okay. I don't have to be bloodthirsty on this AD carry. We're going to get the Rift Herald, or at least they think so, as Kisno's in the area.
Still could look for a Smite steal. Keep in mind it was Dardoch that went down and is walking out from base. Now it's Alorem, big health bar. Hard for Supernova to kill the Scion, but not hard for them to threaten the rest of the team and push them off of the objective. Now Dardoch's rejoined, so I actually don't think Supernova can necessarily go for this. The stun landed onto Dragoon. He's healthy enough to survive and will just walk away, but kind of awkward series of plays right there. We're teleported back in. Team Fish Taco do not want to give up this Herald.
Yeah, surely this is where it does go over to Team Fish Taco, but fortunately this is the less valuable of the 2 Rift Heralds, so all that fighting ended up just being for that one, but hopefully they can find some use for it, as they definitely fought very, very hard for it. And maybe this is just going to be a nice morale boost for them to find that objective, because they have been in a bit of an objective drought for this series, and for this game specifically, losing out on those first couple of Drakes.
I mean, they did get both Heralds in game number 1. We saw them utilize it to crack the first mid-tier turret, but it was after Supernova had already taken 2 in the side lanes on their own. So in general, Supernova have been playing the map a little bit quicker, a little bit more confidently. Nice to see signs of life there for Team Fish Taco in that regard. Not giving up the objective, not walking away saying, no, we will fight for this. But now what can they get for it? They already took that top turret. Alorem was putting in a lot of work there. And it's just going to be unkillable at this point of the game. Yep. I would not be surprised, win or lose, if Alorem just ends this game with 0 deaths. So good luck, Supernova.
That'd be a shame. I mean, that would mean that he's not very good at using Scion passage. That's the most important ability.
And I'm maximizing the use there.
It's not very efficient. You're supposed to die on Scion. As we're jockeying for positioning here in the mid lane, as Drake is up 10 seconds away. There is a Rift Herald here, so at least Team Fish Taco have the backup plan of if they can't get the Drake, they will at least get mid lane turret. But you have to imagine, they do want to deny that soul point that Supernova did use to great effect in Game 1 and are so close to achieving here in Game 2.
Alorem's being that front line, that nuisance for Team Fish Taco. Battle lines have been drawn. It's a top versus bot fight in the river for the Dragon. Front to back, I favor Team Fish Taco, especially with a 2-item Scion right now. So it's going to come down to who's in the pit. Big engage! They already took that Robbie Bob! The carries are in trouble on Team Fish Taco. Red, decent spot. Hit up, cleanse, use. Pulled back in with a handshake. Has to flash to safety, and Alorem finally goes down! Supernova did it! Just grinding through the health bars of Team Fish Taco, and they will earn themselves this 3rd Dragon.
Oh, that 1-2 punch on the engage was beautiful, as Red is really trying to do something on this. Yeah, you got to Gale Force out of there, buddy. I don't think that's going to work out so well for you. Supernova, 3 Drakes to 0, 3 kills to 0 in that fight, and look at the 1-2 punch on this engage. Onat with the Annie stun. Just, oh my god, I can't believe he found this one. Dodging out with the movement speed, and then bam. right onto 2 members. And then the follow-up here, look at Chucky's ult onto the entire backline. This is what I was talking about when I was so excited about Renata Glask in this composition. The backline so immobile as this Aphelios and the Victor, and everyone on the front line is going super far forward as far as the engage. So very split up. You have the backline members hitting each other, maximizing that damage. And Chucky's, this series has just been incredible from him in these team fights. He's playing with such awareness that I have not seen from him in a while. You can really tell that he is very honed in on the prize at the end of the day, which would be qualifying.
And I think Azog also taking the Kraken Slayer and Lethal Tempo pretty big there for actually killing a Lorem. That's really the only consistent damage that will get through the Eldar. If you hit him long enough, you actually will kill the Scion. Fun fact.
It's worth mentioning, too, that Kisno is finding that level of confidence that we wanted to see from him. That fight, he was playing very far forward as Robbie just
took a turret shot. Oh, has Dardoch waiting in the wings. Onat locks down, a lot of damage traded back. Has the stopwatch available. Trickies throws out the hostile takeover, but moves a little too slowly to save your mid laner. Meanwhile, Team Fish Taco actually take the mid turret as well. So they just got a kill and an objective. They're going to turn it into 2.
Yeah, nice map swing. Team Fish Taco actually ahead in gold in this game, funny enough. Partially because of Alorem's, CSing abilities, as he, showed us some efficiency for the Scion passive in that last fight. So that's nice,
let's look at the gold again, actually. If production can pull that up, I want to see a visual for this. Is he still #1?
I don't know, because he actually has fallen behind his farm to Dragoon, but wow, it's Azog at the forefront of it. Probably because of that last team fight, if we're honest. He did participate in that one in a very big way.
I think also got solo turret gold bot lane while they were on the Dragon. I'm pretty sure Azog's the one that got that.
I see. Well, regardless, Azog in the lead right now, and will hopefully for Supernova remain in that lead, as he is the, as you said, consistent DPS that they need to cut through the big brick wall, the big mountain that is Alorem on this Scion, as we've been calling him.
Yeah, and it went for the Bork as well. Blade of the Rune King doing percentage damage as Team Fish Taco are setting up a potential play here. Red might actually set it up. Ooh, I like that look from Team Fish Taco, identifying a short little window there right around the Baron spawn. If you get a big pick on Supernova that's rotating around the area, you can turn that into so much more. But either way, even if it's just a look, still happy to see it. Nothing comes to fruition, and Supernova can go back to just resets and resetting their lanes.
I do think that play says a lot about how the members of Team Fish Taco are feeling in this position. As Red, you can tell he's getting a little antsy in this one, where he can see these plays that are possible to be made. I mean, he uses Gale Force and his ultimate there to try to find something. He can feel that he has been falling behind against Azog.
Double teleport.
This might be the look.
I think that's both. Yeah, that's Alorem and Robbie Bob. Oh, the engage goes a little wide. That's awkward. Supernova just walked to safety.
That is a Shirelia's diff, as Chucky's activates the support mythic and rushes everybody to safety, not even using the ultimate quite yet. Here's the re-engage, potentially.
Ooh, Onat looks for it. Little too far forward. Nice hostile takeover used to buy space, buy time, and now watch Dragoon go!
My God!
Right under Robbie Bob, right under Red. Dragoon smash as Supernova blitz through Team Fish Taco.
Oh, Dragoon. He is fully activated in this tournament. They finally got him off of tank duty. Kangas, I've been asking for this for months. I've been pouring my heart out to Supernova saying, please, free my boy. Give him his carries. And they're finally doing it. As here we get to see the Shirelia's diff one more time out of Chucky's. I mean, you can see just how close that was for him.
Oh, that's model touched him. I swear. I swear they made contact. That's crazy.
But I mean, Dragoon just fully unleashed in these fights. Even though the engage is just barely sidestepped here by Red, Dragoon goes completely unnoticed by the rest of the team. And I mean, Robbie Budge, he does not have flash. There's no way for anyone to save him. And then once Renata's in range to use her bailout on Olaf, that's when you know that it's just so over. That combo.
They're gonna look for more. They got the Baron. This could be a game-ending fight. It would be early, but if you get all of them down, you can rush these turrets. That's Zaption, that's one. Alarm would be two. Red, a little separated from the rest of the team. Is that going to be good or bad for him? So far, he cannot get damage in as Alarm falls down as well. It's not going to be a game push. It's not some crazy blitz. It's just the Dragon Soul. Nothing too crazy, right? You know, just a casual soul at 23.5 minutes for Supernova. Dardoch's going to have to look for a crazy steal here. Ooh. Oh, that's hostile takeover used by Chookies. A little early there. They see Dardoch though, so this could be the signal, and Dardoch's just dead.
Wow.
Azog goes forward. Red will trade his life, but Dragon's Soul to Supernova all the same.
Kangas, we are on the precipice of Supernova making it into NACL. If they can win this game, they are only one Nexus away from making it. Supernova's been around since what feels like the beginning of Tier 3 amateur esports in NA League of Legends, and they're so close. They've tried so many different rosters, and they haven't found that level of success, and this just might be the moment where they do it. Another back-to-back Infernal Soul game for them. This lead is so huge. They've got the scaling online. These team fights are looking crisp as hell from Dragoon on the Olaf front line. And I'm just astounded. I have never seen this level of play from this roster here on Supernova. It seems like everybody is stepping up just when they are needed to.
Now let's talk about the members of the team that are stepping up when they need to. Onat there. I know it looked a little weird going for that kind of engage, but you were the bait. Again, the magnet. Hey, look at me. Use all of your abilities on the Annie so that the rest of the team can follow up and then clean up the play. Buy that space for Dragoon to make action happen. I love what we're seeing. And that's a cleanse forced from Red. One less tool available for Team Fish Taco as Supernova could be putting the final touches on this game that started off good, looked like it was getting a little away from them, but they kept their heads in it, and they are in a position to close it out.
I can see that Supernova knows how close they are. I can see that Supernova knows that they are at that precipice that we keep talking about, but they do still need to close this game out and potentially a series after that, as we saw their early games against AoE. They were really solid, but they couldn't quite close. We need to see these late games at that same level, and Alarm's dead.
Well, you know when I said that Sion probably wouldn't die all game? Let's correct that. Let's add an addendum to that statement, because I believe that is now the third death, if my math is doing me correct. The damage from all 5 members of Supernova isolated onto one target. The build of Azog to deal with this health stacking tank working out for them as they look to dive for more. Red in trouble. Teleport coming in. Red's down. Kissing over the wall, claims him, and Dragoon is unleashed yet again. Onat forward. Supernova for the win in game number 2. These turrets ain't doing nothing to stop Supernova's blitzkrieg through the base, and they will go up 2-0 in the series, poised to take an upset, one game away from qualifying for LCS Challengers in summer, and there is nothing Alarm can do about it. That's going to be a 2-0 start for Supernova.
The last seed in the tournament, the 4th seed for the qualifier teams, just barely scraping by on points to make it to this tournament to begin with, are now 2-0 in the best of 5 that would qualify them for Summer NACL against a team that beat them in the qualifiers as well.
Yes.
Team Fish Taco, quite the titans in their own right in this event, and Supernova have taken it to them 2 games in a row on the Rift.
It feels so much better for Supernova for that exact same fact. This is a team that has bested them in the past. This is a team that we had favored coming in. Supernova are delivering as the underdogs in this series and are 1 game away from taking the whole thing. While we give players time to rest and recover, we're going to send it to a short break before we're back with the Rally Cry halftime show. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you there.